The lost city of Atlantis, the greatest mystery of the ancient world. Mysteries of history. The city that vanished. Imagine a magnificent civilization rising from the sea. A city of extraordinary wealth and power. Golden temples tower above the streets. Massive walls protect a powerful kingdom. Ships travel across the ocean, carrying goods and treasures from distant lands. For generations, this civilization appears unstoppable. And then, in a single catastrophic event, everything disappears. The city is swallowed by the sea. Its people vanish. Its magnificent buildings are lost beneath the waves. And thousands of years later, humanity is still asking the same question. Did Atlantis really exist? The story of Atlantis is one of the greatest mysteries in human history. Some believe it was a real civilization destroyed by a natural disaster. Others believe it was nothing more than a story created by an ancient philosopher. But perhaps the most fascinating question is this: what if the legend of Atlantis was inspired by a real event? Today, we travel deep into the mystery of the lost city of Atlantis. Part 1. The origin of the Atlantis story. The story of Atlantis begins not with an explorer, not with an archaeologist, but with an ancient Greek philosopher named Plato. Around the 4th century BCE, Plato described Atlantis in two of his famous works, Timaeus and Critias. According to Plato, Atlantis was a powerful island civilization located somewhere beyond the Pillars of Hercules, a name commonly associated with the Strait of Gibraltar. Plato described Atlantis as an incredibly advanced and wealthy society. The island was rich in natural resources. Its people built enormous cities, impressive temples, harbors, and complex waterways. At the center of the capital stood a magnificent temple dedicated to the god Poseidon. According to the story, the city itself was designed in a series of enormous circular rings. Land, water, land, water. These rings surrounded the central city and were connected by bridges and canals. It was a civilization unlike anything the ancient world had ever seen. But Atlantis was not simply wealthy. It was powerful. And according to Plato, its ambition eventually became its greatest weakness. Part 2. The rise of a powerful civilization. According to the legend, Atlantis became one of the most powerful civilizations of the ancient world. Its armies were enormous. Its navy was formidable. Its influence extended far beyond its homeland. The Atlanteans believed they were destined to dominate the world. But Plato's story contains an important warning. At first, the people of Atlantis were described as honorable and virtuous. They lived in harmony. They respected their gods. But over time, wealth and power changed them. Their desire for conquest grew. Their pride became stronger. And eventually, they became corrupt. According to Plato, the people of Atlantis wanted to conquer Athens. But the Athenians resisted. Despite being greatly outnumbered, Athens supposedly stood against the powerful Atlantean army. And in Plato's story, Athens emerged victorious. But the story did not end there. Something far more catastrophic was about to happen. Part 3. The Great Catastrophe. Then came the disaster. Plato wrote that Atlantis was struck by terrible earthquakes and floods. In a single day and night of misfortune, the great civilization disappeared. The island was swallowed by the sea. Its cities vanished. Its armies disappeared. And Atlantis was lost forever. But here's where the mystery begins. Plato's writings are the earliest known detailed sources describing Atlantis. And there is a major problem. No one has ever found Atlantis. No confirmed ruins, no inscriptions, no artifacts that can be definitively connected to the legendary civilization. Nothing that proves the city existed exactly as Plato described it. So the question remains, was Atlantis a real place? Or was it a story designed to teach a lesson? Part 4. The Search for Atlantis. For centuries, explorers and historians have searched for the lost civilization. They have looked across oceans. They have searched islands. They have explored underwater ruins. And they have proposed countless locations. Some believe Atlantis was somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean. Others have suggested locations in the Mediterranean. Some theories place Atlantis near Spain. Others point toward the Canary Islands. And some researchers believe the story may have been inspired by a real civilization destroyed by a massive volcanic eruption. One of the most famous theories connects Atlantis to the ancient island of Thera, now known as Santorini. Thousands of years ago, a massive volcanic eruption occurred there. The eruption was one of the largest known volcanic events in human history. It devastated the island. The explosion produced enormous amounts of ash. It may have triggered powerful earthquakes and tsunamis, and it caused severe destruction across the surrounding region. Could this disaster have inspired the story of Atlantis? It's possible, but there is a problem. The timeline does not perfectly match Plato's account, and Santorini does not fit every detail of his description. So, while the theory is fascinating, it remains only a theory. Part 5. The Mystery of the Minoans. Another intriguing possibility involves the ancient Minoan civilization. The Minoans lived on the island of Crete and nearby regions thousands of years ago. They were among the most sophisticated civilizations of the ancient Mediterranean. They built impressive palaces. They developed complex trade networks. They created beautiful artwork. And they had a powerful maritime culture. Their civilization was also affected by the enormous volcanic eruption on Thera. Some historians believe that memories of the destruction caused by this disaster may have survived for generations. Over time, these memories could have become legends. And perhaps, centuries later, Plato transformed these ancient stories into the tale of Atlantis. But there is still no definitive evidence. The Minoans were real. The eruption was real. The destruction was real. But Atlantis? That remains uncertain. Part 6. The Atlantis theory that changed history. There is another possibility. Perhaps Atlantis was never meant to be a real place. Perhaps it was a philosophical story. Plato was not simply a storyteller. He was a philosopher who often used fictional societies and imaginary situations to explore important ideas. Atlantis may have been created as a warning about what happens when a powerful civilization becomes arrogant. In Plato's story, Atlantis represents wealth, ambition, military power, and corruption. Athens, on the other hand, represents discipline and virtue. The message may have been simple. Even the greatest civilization can fall. No matter how powerful an empire becomes, no matter how wealthy its people are, no matter how impressive its cities may be, pride
can lead to destruction. If this interpretation is correct, Atlantis was never supposed to be discovered. It was supposed to be remembered. Part 7. The search continues.
But even today, the mystery refuses to disappear. Every few years, new theories emerge. Some researchers claim to have discovered possible underwater structures. Others point towards satellite images and unusual geological formations. Ancient maps are examined. Ocean floors are scanned. Archaeologists investigate forgotten ruins, and explorers continue searching for evidence. But so far, no discovery has provided undeniable proof of Plato's Atlantis. The modern scientific community generally considers Atlantis a legend or philosophical allegory rather than a confirmed historical civilization. Yet, the mystery remains powerful. Because history has taught us something important. Civilizations can disappear. Cities can be buried. Coastlines can change.
And entire communities can be destroyed by earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, floods, and rising seas. Throughout history, many places once thought to be legendary were eventually proven to have existed. So perhaps the question is not simply, where is Atlantis? Perhaps the real question is, what inspired the story? Part 8. The Greatest Mystery. Maybe Atlantis was a real civilization. Maybe it was inspired by the Minoans. Maybe the destruction of Thera created the foundation for the legend. Maybe ancient memories of natural disasters were transformed into a story over generations. Or perhaps Plato invented Atlantis entirely. We may never know. But the mystery of Atlantis continues to capture our imagination because it represents something much larger than a lost city. It represents our fascination with the unknown. The idea that somewhere beneath the waves, there could be ruins waiting to be discovered. A forgotten civilization. A lost chapter of human history. A secret that has remained hidden for thousands of years.
And perhaps one day, a discovery will finally reveal the truth. Until then, Atlantis remains exactly what it has always been, the greatest mystery of the ancient world. What do you think? Was Atlantis a real civilization destroyed by a catastrophic disaster? Was it inspired by the destruction of ancient civilizations like the Minoans? Or was it simply a story created by Plato to teach humanity a lesson about power and pride? The truth may still be hidden somewhere beneath the sea, and until we find it, the mystery of Atlantis will remain unsolved. This is Mysteries of History, where the past is never truly forgotten, and every mystery has a story.
Subscribe for more fascinating stories from history, lost civilizations, and mysteries that continue to challenge our understanding of the past.